And back on the sports news as we get to talk a little bit about what's going on the ice right now. I know it's hot outside, but let's go inside, chill out a little bit. Talk with Ben over at the Oregon Ice Arena. Ben, how you doing? I know you got some big happenings going on now. The Players Edge Pro Shop, that's all new. Talk to us about that. What's that all about?
Well, Rich, good to see you again. So Players Edge. So Larry Clemens and I, so Larry's my partner in On Ice Promotions. We've been talking for the last couple of years about, do we want to be in retail? Do we not want to be in retail? And as of about a month ago, we said, no, we don't want to be in retail. And then we met this guy, Kyle Walgren, who came to us. He's a big lacrosse guy in the area, does custom string, has his own custom lacrosse company. And he's like, hey guys, if you want to be in retail, I'll run it for you. So we kind of flip-flopped, and from a month ago to now we have two pro shops. Our main one's in the Sun Prairie Ice Arena, Players Edge, and it's the focus on hockey and lacrosse, and really what we want to do is we want to change the market a little bit and make it an experience like you come into our pro shop. We have couches, we have tables, just come hang out, watch TV, and maybe buy a few things.
Nice, yeah. I was going to ask you too, because what kind of sets it apart from other pro shops that people can go to? I mean, why go to yours over somebody else?
Well, so we want to change it. So typically, we saw this in the golf market. I was big in golf for a while. Local pro shops they didn't make it. So they didn't make it because the big box stores like Dick's came in. They want to do their massive golf their massive golf stuff. So really with that, we're like, okay, so we're not going to be able to compete with the Dick's, the Hockey Giants, just because they buy so much. So what we want to do is we want to take more of like a country club feel to it, where it's a lot more intimate and a lot more like custom ordering. So we're going to have memberships, so you can be a member of the pro shop and On Ice Promotions, more or less. And with that membership, you get to custom order right from the catalogs. Everything. We place the orders, we do the custom apparel, and there's a very deep discount for being a member. And those discounts will allow us to be competitive and actually beat out the prices of all the other stores, in this market by far.
Wow, that's a great idea and definitely sets you apart. How about what's going on over at Oregon Ice Arena? We got about 30 seconds to catch up with you on what's going on over there.
Yeah, so just over there, continually building. We have our upstairs done, which I've talked about a lot, and our mezzanine. And then actually our project right now is we're getting ready to put in a grill. So at Sun Prairie, which is I talk about a lot also, they have Willie Ties, which is a full-on restaurant. We want to do kind of a miniature version of that in Oregon. Grill, so you can have hamburgers, sandwiches, French fries, all the stuff for the kids, and then really make it, more birthday party friendly, more corporate event friendly, where we can do the catering ourselves and we don't have to outsource.
Sounds like great stuff, Ben. I hope to check it out. The grill over there, and of course, the new pro shop, Players Edge, going on as well. Ben, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Yep, appreciate it.
There are a lot of Cardinals in the area, but very few fly as high as they do out at Middleton High School. As we get to talk some Middleton sports right now, as we bring in Perry Hibner, the communications director out at Middleton High School. And Perry, thanks for coming in again. And let's talk about some of the spring, summer sports you got going on. Let's start with baseball. How's that baseball team doing?
They're doing very well. Actually had a heartbreaking loss to Sun Prairie on Thursday, 4-3, gave up 2 runs in the bottom of the 7th. But they're 1 game behind Janesville Craig and Sun Prairie in the loss column with 2 weeks left in the Big 8 regular season. All 3 teams are ranked in the top 10. I know Coach Dom Schmidt is thinking another state tournament appearance would be their first since 2013, looking at a possible state championship, which would be their first since 2003.
Wow, great stuff. And I know, too, they're not the only successful ones going right now. Boys and girls track are doing really well, too, aren't they?
They are. Actually, the Big 8 conference meet was Friday night. Both teams claimed conference championships. For the boys, it's their 4th consecutive conference title. People who led the way were Perrin Hagee. He set a meet record in the 1600, while Samantha Valentine did the same thing in the girls 1600. So I know both those teams are also looking at top 5 finishes at the state meet in Division I in lacrosse in early June.
Excellent stuff. And so they're doing all good. The boys tennis teams, boys golf teams always seem to be perennial powers. So is that the case again this year?
It certainly is with the boys golf team. They've been ranked number 1 in state for the last 3 to 4 weeks. In fact, I think it's been about a month since they actually lost a meet or an invitational. They won the prestigious University Ridge meet Metro Shootout this past week. They've got 4 seniors in the lineup: Brady Thomas, Emmett Erb, Joey Levin, and Nils Arneson. I know Tom Sabalka's thinking they're going to win their 5th state championship this year.
How's the girls soccer team doing out on the pitch?
Another strong team as well. So they lost one game early in the year to Verona in Big 8 play, so they're a half game behind Verona with 2 games left for each team left in the regular season. But Mary Duffy has a very strong group of forwards led by Maya Shea, Kristen Redelkoffer, and they have a University of Wisconsin recruit and Grace Douglas in the back. So again, I also think they're looking at a possible state tournament berth in Milwaukee in June.
Perry, you're great at getting out a lot of information quickly. You've mentioned a lot of teams. Which of those teams do you think has maybe the best shot at winning a state title?
Probably the boys golf team. Again, like I said, they've been ranked for most of the year. They're a perennial state tournament team. They've got a lot of experience. All those seniors I talked about have been on the team since freshmen. So I think we're looking at University Ridge being a state championship possibility for them.
We all know that the schools shut down during the summers, but the athletes keep on going. A lot of them. What does the summer hold for the Middleton athletes?
Actually, a lot. So for the 4th year, we have a summer conditioning program that takes place 3 to 4 days a week. We have more than 500 students participate that in the summer. So wow. I think it's one reason why our sports winter, spring, and fall are always so strong.
That is great participation, and it always leads to great success for you guys. So congrats on all that. Good luck with all the state championships coming up.
Thanks, Rich. Really appreciate it.
You bet. Thanks for being here. We'll have more right after this on Channel 57 Sports. Let's go ahead and hit the links now, as it's always good to bring in Lori from Kestrel Ridge out in Columbus. And Lori, thanks for joining us. We've talked about it before, the twilight rates that you guys have out at Kestrel Ridge. Fantastic. What's going on out there for twilight time?
Well, we put out there an unlimited golf for $22. That includes a cart, and it is any day of the week after 2. We also added a 9-hole feature, and that is 9 holes with a cart for $14 any day of the week after 2.
Wow, that is great stuff, and no wonder why it's so popular. I know you guys do some outings too. Talk to us a little bit about the outing rates that you have.
Yeah, we consider a group of 8 or more people an outing. So it could just be a group of your family, friends, whatever. Again, it could be any day, and you get a great discount. You get our outing rate. So please give the Pro Shop a call, make a tee time, and if you have 8 or more people, you get an awesome deal.
One thing that's always important with sports is getting the kids involved. Now, how do you do it as far as like a junior program?
Right, we have a really good junior program. It is starting Tuesday, June 21st at 9 a.m. It's really important to get your kids involved in golf at a young age. It's an awesome sport to learn. It's something they can do the rest of their life. So even if they're not gonna be an avid golfer every day and they're not gonna be on the golf team, it's still really important to teach them the game of golf. Like I said, it's something you can use the rest of your life. It's something you can do forever.
Now, we were talking a little bit off the air about how you're dressed up and ready to go for leagues. So
yeah.
Is it too late though to sign up for leagues now?
It certainly is not, no. We are starting our couples league here. We also have a Tuesday night league that's already underway, but we're more than happy to take new people. We can add you as a sub, and honestly, almost every week we need subs. We also have our Thursday morning, we're gonna have a league that will be starting for couples as well.
Now, for golfers that are trying to fine-tune their games a little bit before they hit the links, what kind of practice facilities do you have out there at Kestrel Ridge?
We have a great driving range. It's huge. We have a couple different practice greens. One of the practice greens has a number of sand traps to practice hitting out of, which is super important because there's a lot of traps out on the course. But we have, on Wednesdays, we offer bucket day. So you can get a bucket of golf balls at a discounted rate for $5. You also get, you can get a bucket of chicken wings for $5 and a bucket of beer for $5. So Wednesdays are bucket day. Bucket days are good. Fridays are probably pretty good for you too. Do you guys offer up a fish fry? We do, yeah. We serve a huge buffet. It's only $12.95. We serve it on Fridays from 5 to 9. Excellent. Lori, thanks for joining us. Make sure you hit the links out at Kestrel Ridge. Say hi to Lori when you go out there as well. Lori, thanks again. Thank you. All right, let's shift gears and head just a little bit south of the city right now and talk to Stoughton Athletic Director Mel Dow, who is joining us on the program. And Mel, thanks a lot for being here. And let's talk about this graduating class that just went through for you guys. And the class of 2016, they've definitely benefited from the strong foundation that you guys have in the athletic department. Just how successful has the past 4 years been for them?
Well, this graduating class was either part of or saw 20 conference titles at Stoughton High School, as well as 11 team state appearances and 6 state finalist appearances for those teams that they were part of.
Wow. Yeah, that's absolutely incredible. And it seems like that, this past year has been very incredible. Also a diverse year of success for the Vikings. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, yeah, this year alone we saw 3 teams make it all the way to the state finals. Our girls basketball team, our wrestling team, and our lacrosse team, which was just this past weekend. But this year's class saw 7 conference titles, and 39 individual athletes went on to the state championships or the state individual tournaments. Things like swimming, tennis, wrestling, so forth. So just all around success through all of our athletes.
Wow, impressive. And always when you have a good sports program, it seems like the sports boosters are a big part about that. So talk about the Stoughton Sports Boosters, how have they made an impact so far?
I tell you what, we wouldn't be where we're at without our sports boosters. In just over 11 years, they've donated over $400,000. But in addition to the financial contributions that we see throughout all the different schools, they help feed our athletes at their study tables. They're constantly giving upgrades to our facilities and overall support in the volunteers that help run our events. Like I said, we wouldn't be a fraction of the program that we are without them.
Yeah, we also know too that with a program like that, there's a lot of people behind the scenes that go unseen. Who are some of those people in Stoughton?
Well, I tell you what, we're very fortunate to have an incredible administrative staff with our superintendent, Dr. Onsager, our Board of Education, and our buildings and ground crew that's led by Cal Morath and Diana Kittleson. What they do is they help us provide some unique facilities. In addition to the typical gym and field to play and that kind of stuff, we're fortunate enough that we have a coach's office. We have both large and small film study rooms. We have conference rooms for our coaches. And I would have to say probably one of the top weight rooms in the Madison area.
Yeah, the facilities are incredible, and I'm guessing that, besides all the regular season tournaments and events, you guys hosted an additional 17 Badger Conference or WIAA playoff events. Is it because of the great facilities?
We're proud of our facilities and the people that we have working with us. And so what we want to do is we want to show off our different facilities and our people. Not only do we want to welcome our opponents, but we want to welcome anybody that wants to come by Stoughton and see what we have to offer.
Yeah, and it always seems like a lot of work's been done in Stoughton through a lot of the partnerships that you guys have. What's the background on those?
Well, our district believes in partnerships. That's between businesses, organizations, the different schools in the area as well. And we feel that we're stronger when we work together. So we cooperate in as many different opportunities as we possibly can. And through those partnerships, we've been able to continue to move ourselves forward. And we're seeing it both in the classroom and on the field of play. So we're pretty fortunate.
Yeah, that's great stuff. And Mel, thanks for joining us and continued success for you guys.
Thanks so much.
Let's go out to the diamond right now and bring in the head coach of the Madison East Purgolders, Dana Rasmussen, who heads up the softball team out there, and one of my favorite guests. We love having you on, Dana. And, before when we talked to you, I think the season was just getting started. Mm-hmm. Now the season's over. I know you guys had some high hopes going into the season. How did the season finish up for you?
Well, like you said, we had a lot of high hopes going into the season. We lost only 3 seniors last year, so we had high hopes. The downside is that things don't always go as planned, and we ended up this season in conference 8-10 and overall 9-12.
So how did your team end up adapting? I think there were a lot of injuries on your team, weren't there?
There were, unfortunately, and it all happened at one time in the middle of the season, and dealing with that is not easy. The good news is that we have a lot of people that can play multiple positions, and they were able to fill in when needed.
Well, even in a down year and when there is some, injuries and stuff like that and the record isn't what you want, there's usually some bright spots too. Talk about that a little bit, bright spots offensively and defensively for your school.
Offensively, we're known from other schools that we're great hitters, and we showed that early on. One of the games, we had 22 hits, which is a huge confidence booster for our kids. Defensively, we didn't play as soundly, which adds to the loss column, but we did have a couple outfielders that took away some extra base hits. We had a catcher that threw out 17 out of 23 would-be base stealers, and that led the Big 8.
Wow.
One thing that can't be shown on statistics, though, is the resiliency that these kids have. With all of the injuries at one time, it's not easy to overcome, and they did it very well.
Yeah, and that's great, and especially you're having some seniors and returning players that can overcome too.
Yeah.
Definitely helps. So talk about the postseason then, if you could. Where did you guys end up?
We were seeded number 8 in our sectional. We hosted Madison La Follette in the first game. We won 6-5 in extra innings on a walk-off single by our lone senior, Jessie Inman. So that was a huge moment for her and for us, and one she won't soon forget. Our regional final game was at Verona. We ended up losing 8-4, but we did out-hit them. We just didn't string them all together.
Oh, yeah, sometimes you got to take one like that. So how about all conference nominations? Anybody get nominated?
Well, overall in the conference, we have a lot of great players. It was amazing to see at the end of the season meeting how many players were actually hitting above 400, which not easy to do. We did have a few nominated, a few were recognized. I don't think that the records are out yet, so I'm not going to name any names.
Okay, so talk to you a little bit about the next year, though. 2017. And looking ahead, if you're only losing one senior, that's a lot of returning players. You should have some high hopes again, huh?
After this year, in all the hype, I'm choosing to be cautiously optimistic.
Okay.
Yes, but with all of the hard work that they're going to put in the off season, I'm excited to see what it'll bring next spring.
Well, good stuff. Congrats on having some success this year, and we'll look forward to next year and having you on again, Dana. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And we'll be right back with more sports news right here on Channel 57 Sports. Whenever we talk to the guys down from Evansville, it always seems like they got so much going on in sports programs that are just blowing up down in Evansville, so we love bringing them back in. We bring in Coach Maves. We also bring in Chase Maves, Andreas, Gunnar. They're all here, and we're going to talk some baseball with them now. And Coach, let's start with you first, and let's talk about the state of youth baseball in Evansville. What's going on down there?
Well, Rich, I tell you what, it's very exciting right now because we have some youth coaches that are really invested in the youth. Coach Herlichka is at the 8th grade level. We got Coach Senelbach at the 7th grade level. Me, Steve Johnson, Coach Bowl are coaching 6th graders right now. And in a few years, I believe we're going to have 3 levels of baseball at the high school. Right now we have JV and varsity, and we've just got a ton of kids invested in baseball, a ton of programs, and they're all doing a great job, and I'm excited about it.
Yeah, great to see that going and the program actually building too. Always like to see that. So you guys were also able to hold your first tournament on the new field over at Lake Leota Park. Talk about that a little bit. How was that?
It's unreal. When you put all that work in, and I can't even name all the parent volunteers and the community support that we had. We had an awesome Lake Leota. It's just beautiful. And then you put this beautiful Little League baseball diamond into that beautiful park, and then you play tournaments that we haven't done there in years. It was just unreal. The kids absolutely loved it. We had music playing. We announced the kids. A lot of atmosphere. It was one of the funnest tournaments of the year so far for me.
And how did you guys do in the tournament?
We actually we did okay. I mean, I made the bracket out, so it was kind of advantageous for Evansville. I could kind of seeded us number 1, and we ended up playing Edgerton, who's coached by Jason Clark. They have a great team. We won by 1 run, came back from an early deficit, and they all got trophies, and everyone felt good, so it was cool.
Very cool. Yeah, I had to ask though, Coach.
Yeah.
And let's go around the horn now. Talk to the guys a little bit. Chase, so far on this season, what's been your favorite part of the season?
Well, I like the Dyersville, Iowa,
Field of Dreams, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know you're talking about. You got to play there?
Yep.
Very cool.
Yeah, we got to stay in a hotel and play, and then go to the Field of Dreams and practice hitting.
Excellent. Andreas, what's been your favorite so far?
Probably the Dyersville, Iowa tournament as well, because it was different for us to go out of state and play there and to stay in a hotel and go swimming and all that.
Excellent. Always good team building. Everyone loves the Field of Dreams. And Gunnar, how about for you?
I would have to say Evansville because it was just a blast seeing everybody play and how good we did and winning,
Great stuff. Fellas, I love it. Continued success. Thanks for joining us, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks for having us, Rich.